Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price this Tuesday. I just got our on-chain exchange flow showing USDT coming onto exchanges for the first time in quite some time, and over $250,000 of Bitcoin leaving exchanges. This is a very positive sign as Bitcoin holds 38,000 US dollars, the most important support level, as you guys know, with a resistance of 41,950 and the 50-day moving average sitting at 40,200. That's what we really need to conquer if we want to assume further upside for Bitcoin. There's a lot to talk about today. Gold approaching its all-time highs with new yearly highs today. US oil also new yearly highs today. And then we're seeing wheat and nickel rise up in price because of the Russia-Ukraine tension. Of course, Russia being a large producer of nickel and wheat. There's a lot of puzzle pieces to talk about today, but now that gold is finally moving, for those that have been tuned in here on the Snipers channel for the last 5 years, you know we've been making a video on Bitcoin every single day. And one chart that we used to look at a lot, and we actually predicted the top for Bitcoin using this chart, was the gold to Bitcoin chart. I want to focus on that today. And I had to get this update out as the on-chain analytics came in and as Bitcoin has maintained price action so far above the $38,000 level. We have yet to really see any decisive 6-hour candles close below 38,000. That's a very positive sign. But check this out, Snipers, the 4-dimensional channel that you guys are tuned into. We get to see everything here, and look at what's happening to the gold to Bitcoin chart. And this is huge because this is going to be giving us a very early confirmation as to where Bitcoin is headed. First and foremost, notice how gold against Bitcoin are now is approaching this extremely important resistance level and is inside of a descending triangle with a flat bottom support right now. If we want to assume that this is going to be the max amount of upside this chart could see before seeing downside, as it is in a macro bearish trend, what this chart is telling us right now is that right now Bitcoin is at a very good area to be entering positions in. As long as this resistance doesn't break, if we get rejected from here, and if we are in the belief that Bitcoin is truly a better storage of value than gold, then right now it's indicating it's hitting a resistance, the gold against Bitcoin ratio, and that either Bitcoin has to start moving up with gold. If we're expecting gold to break into price discovery, then the only assumption is that Bitcoin also breaks into higher prices, maybe even outperforms gold, because our assumption here is that Bitcoin is a better storage of value than gold. Of course, gold you can confiscate, Bitcoin you can't confiscate, right? There are so many reasons why Bitcoin outweighs gold. I mean, it's really the whole thesis here being a storage of value. And I mean, hasn't Bitcoin been a great storage of value over the last few weeks? Despite all of this tension that we're seeing with Russia and Ukraine, we're still up. Despite what's happening with inflation, despite what's happening to traditional markets, despite what's happening in international markets forming new yearly lows almost on a daily basis now, Bitcoin has maintained above 38,000 for the most part. At least it's maintained its higher low above 34,788. And so is Bitcoin acting as a storage of value right now? Maybe one of the best storages of value that we could think of. I mean, a lot of people are saying over the last month, Bitcoin is down 12%, altcoins are down 80%, while wheat and nickel are up over 40%, gold is up, let's say 10%. And here's the thing with that. Yes, it's great to have positions in gold. Yes, it's great to have positions in commodities. But Bitcoin over the last 2 years, over the last 5 years, has outperformed these assets astronomically. I mean, just from March of 2020's bottom to where Bitcoin topped out at, I mean, we are talking over 500% gains, 1,000% gains. I mean, it depends on what chart you look at, but Bitcoin has outperformed all of these assets. We can look at any asset, and for the most part, Bitcoin has outperformed since March of 2020 specifically as well. So over the last month, we can't just look at the micro. Okay, it's down 12% while these assets are up 40%, 5%, 10%. Yeah, but it's still up year over year, over 2 years, over 5 years, way more than these assets. And so it's not a bad idea to have positions in gold. I have positions in gold. For those inside of our Discord group, we have the #1 cryptocurrency Discord group in the world, but we also send out signals for commodities, and we sent out a signal for gold below 2,000 a couple days ago to enter into a position. And so it's fine to have positions in gold. It's fine to have positions in other assets in traditional markets. But Bitcoin right now is truly proving itself as a great storage of value. And so I think that with USDT coming on exchanges and this gold to Bitcoin chart facing a major resistance, the only assumption we can make here is that if this gets rejected, it's because Bitcoin continues to the upside, because I don't think gold is going to want to slow down anytime soon. And I am expecting a rejection because the all-time high from 2017 for the gold to Bitcoin ratio was right around 0.067, right around this area. And I certainly don't expect this gold to Bitcoin ratio to breach through that level, because it is quite clear since 2017 and 18, especially since 2020, that Bitcoin is the better asset. And so we also could say and look at the silver to Bitcoin chart, and you can see we are also approaching this very important resistance level here very soon. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how these charts play out. But the other things to mention outside of the headlines, like with what's happening to gold and oil, nickel and wheat, is the fact that right now Bitcoin has been consolidating quite well above 38,000 despite all of the fundamentals. Yes, Joe Biden is going to be announcing an executive order soon, but regulation has always been a good thing for this industry. We've been seeing regulation come in since 2017. Right now, this is what we need to monitor, this 50-day moving average around 40,200. If we can get a candle getting towards this level, at least even a wick, that right there is going to be the early signs that we could potentially get another retest above 40,000, or specifically the most important level, 41,950. And at that point, if we can get above 41,950, now the likelihood for us to come and knock on this door at 44,800 for a fifth time comes on the table. You knock on a door 5 times, the likelihood that door breaks is huge. We break 44,800, we invalidate the macro bearish head and shoulder neckline, we validate the Adam and Eve bottom. And so right now the first confirmation is 40,200, reconquer this 50-day moving average. And of course we don't want to see price action below 38,000, but because we're having a cup of coffee here, we have to assume this isn't the final destination. And then when we look at the line chart, we are inside of an ascending triangle, while Bitcoin dominance is inside of a descending triangle facing a major resistance. If we were to assume Bitcoin dominance is going to come down, that would assume downside price action for Bitcoin dominance, and it means Bitcoin's price comes up. And so the DXY also approaching a major resistance right now. So what I would say is that the puzzle pieces right now outside of the crypto market, and by the way, S&P 500 has yet to breach its recent consolidation lows, but it is testing it. And so we want to monitor this. But for the most part, and international markets did continue down, just for some information there for those that follow international markets. But I think really the main point in this video is to understand the fact that right now Bitcoin is in a strong position at 38,000 because it's held. And because it's held quite well, we have to realize that there is a potential we come and reconquer that $40,200 level at the 50-day moving average. We get there, that's the first confirmation that we need to start looking at upside targets. Of course, 41,950 is the most important level right now beyond that 50-day moving average. But for now, things are not looking too bad. If we breach below 38,000 again, we have 36,500 and we have 34,788 as major levels that Bitcoin can test and still form a higher low to see continuation to the upside. I think that unless we get towards 34,788, unless the S&P 500 breaches its recent consolidation lows, that it's very unlikely for Bitcoin to get below 34,000. And so if the S&P 500 does breach its recent consolidation lows, that could change the scenario. But for now, and that gold to Bitcoin chart is something we want to monitor, because if we get rejected, that's another positive confirmation along with the Bitcoin dominance chart that there are 2 strong revolving parts right now in the favor of Bitcoin seeing some upside. So a lot happening. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Thank you all for tuning in to the Snipers channel here at youtube.com/snipers on Turnaround Tuesday. So what a beautiful thing to see Bitcoin back above 38,000 for now. If that changes, I'll get another video update out to you guys. Of course, we're in a very, very sensitive area right now at 38,000. We've already seen some hourly candles below it, but the 6-hour institutional time frame still looks good. We haven't seen 6-hour institutional sell pressure. And so that's what I'm watching. I'm watching the institutions. What are they doing? And so far, they've been accumulating below 38,000. They've even accumulated at 41,950. And so we're seeing strong institutional volume here to the buy side versus the sell side. We haven't seen much sell side pressure from institutions. So until we see that, I don't know if we can assume continuation down. And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Thank you all for tuning into the Snipers channel today, and I'll see you guys next time. Snipers out.